You've heard me mention in previous videos that researchers are now saying that there are 4 types of obesity. Well, they're researching them and we're going to talk about it. If you're new here, hey, my name's Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss quest, and hopefully you'll subscribe, come along for the ride, because I put out new videos every day. So, 4 types of obesity. The more we research obesity, the more we begin to understand about the different nuances that lead people into a bigger body. Of course, we know there's a mental component, there's a gut component, and there's also a genetic component. And so as time goes on and the medical community learns more and more about what specifically it is that's happening in our bodies, the better off we're going to be. Not only will we be able to customize our weight loss strategies, whether it's using a GLP-1 or using an amylin analog or any number of various tools, it's really going to provide us with the means to customize the plan to the individual. So, what are the 4 types of obesity? Let's talk about it. Number 1, hungry brain. This is the group of individuals that you will hear talk about food noise and how it completely ran their entire life. For me specifically, the food noise was so out of control that I couldn't drive past a fast food place without eating there. I would constantly be thinking about the next meal and how much I was going to be eating, if there was going to be enough food, if we were going to a social gathering. I would be thinking about eating before we went somewhere to eat. And I also would be focusing in on cravings that would just absolutely control me until I consumed that item, and then it would start all over again with something else. The food noise also pushed me to constantly watch the Food Network. It was like the dopamine hit of eating food without actually eating food. And it was like the only channel that I watched for a really long time. So you'll hear people talk about food noise in that kind of extreme capacity. This is hungry brain. Now, these people have, any number of challenges when it comes to treating their obesity. If they can get a GLP-1 that addresses the food noise for them, then you'll often see that they lose anywhere from 17 to 25% of their body weight. It just depends on the individual. For some people, the GLP-1 meds that we have on the market are enough, and for others, they need to combine them with an additional medication. Emotional/dopamine seeking. This is number 2. Now, I want to add as I go through these that you can have more than one of these types of obesity. You don't just only fall into one category. So, for me, I know that I fall into multiples of these categories. So you'll have to let me know down in the comments below which category or categories do you fall into. So we've got our emotional dopamine seeking. Again, brain related. So these are the people that are going to be very emotionally driven when it comes to food. So you're celebrating something, you got a big promotion at work. Your very first thought is, let's go celebrate with food. These are the people who are going to say, I'm sad, I want to eat an entire bag of Doritos. These are the people who are going to consume large quantities of food in order to get that dopamine release so that they don't have to deal with whatever the emotion is at the time. And it's not always sadness. I know that many people think of, oh, you're so sad, you sit down, you eat a whole, pint of ice cream. But it's not always sadness. Some people do it when they're happy. Some people do it when they're sad. Some people do it when they're angry. It is an emotional response to not being able to regulate those emotions and so you turn to food for that dopamine hit. Number 3 type of obesity is called hungry gut. So this type of obesity is based on the miscommunication or misfiring between the brain and the gut. So many of us know that our microbiome plays a huge role in not only digesting our food and ensuring that we are getting awesome nutrients from everything that we're eating, but it also plays a role in communicating to the brain to say, hey, this is what we need. Hey, this is what we want to eat. Hey, we need more. So having that miscommunication between the brain and the gut can be extremely challenging. Number 4 type of obesity is called slow burn. Slow burn is all of the people out there that are suffering from a slow metabolism based off of various conditions that they may have, right? So for example, the best example that I can think of is PCOS. This is something that considerably dampens your metabolism and causes you to operate at a much lower calorie burn, so that individuals with PCOS have to work twice as hard just to lose weight, just to be in a calorie deficit. So this type of obesity is very challenging because you may have it because of a secondary condition like PCOS, or you may just have this type of obesity. Either way, it is incredibly frustrating. What are they doing as far as research, and what does this say about the future of treating obesity? Well, they're already coming out with various tests that you can take in order to figure out which category or categories you may fall into. Now, this is going to be incredibly helpful when it comes to treating the disease of obesity, because it will allow your medical provider to customize a plan that is specific to you based off of the type of obesity that you have. So for example, if you're working with a medical provider and you are somebody who experiences slow burn, right? So your metabolism is incredibly low, and hungry brain, right? We got that food noise going. Then a GLP-1 and an extensive weightlifting program would be an ideal fit for this person, right? So we've got our GLP-1, which is going to be addressing the food noise, hopefully at the right dose. And then also the resistance training, which is going to increase the muscle mass of that individual so that they can up their metabolism, so that when they are in a calorie deficit, right, they don't have to go so dangerously low because their baseline is already very low. These tests are going to be vital to treating obesity going forward. So now that you know what the 4 types of obesity are, let me know down in the comments below, which category or categories do you fall into? I am definitely hungry brain, emotional, dopamine seeking, and probably also hungry gut. So I think the only one that doesn't apply to me is slow burn. I think that my metabolism is probably okay, but it's something I wouldn't be able to confirm without testing. So let me know which categories you fall into down in the comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe. I'd love to have you along for the ride. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that when I go live, you can jump into one of our live sessions. We have a blast. If you haven't seen one of my lives before, definitely go check out the lives playlist, where you can see that not only are we helping people in the GLP-1 community, answering their questions or giving helpful tips and tricks, but also we just get goofy and we have a lot of fun. So definitely go check out that playlist. If you are new to a GLP-1, go check out my newbies playlist. And as always, be kind, rewind.